Ladies and gentlemen, today we are not just talking about a car, we are talking about a rolling piece of American aristocracy that somehow decided to wear wooden clothing and call it practicality. The 1937 Packard Six Station Wagon by Baker-Raulang is what happens when luxury, utility, and mild pre-war optimism sit at the same table and agree to build something useful, but make it elegant. We are stepping into a world where station wagons were not for soccer, moms, or grocery runs. No, this machine was for railway stations, country estates, and people who considered manual labor something done by other people. And yes, if you enjoy stories where engineering meets sarcasm and a little chaos, consider subscribing to our channel. We promise more metal, more history, and occasionally more questionable decisions made by 1930s designers who clearly had too much coffee and ambition. The story begins in 1937, United States, during Packard's 15th series. Packard was already known as a luxury powerhouse, but they had a small problem. Exclusivity doesn't always sell cars. So they introduced the Packard 6 115C, a slightly more accessible luxury model designed to bring new customers into the brand's orbit. Then the station wagon arrived mid-year, confidently walking into the showroom like it owned the place, priced at $1,295 and up. For its bodywork, Packard turned to Baker-Raulang of Cleveland, a coach builder known for careful craftsmanship and wooden body construction. Only about 60 units of this wagon were produced in its first year, and only the earliest examples carried true Baker-Raulang craftsmanship. The design wasn't random. Station wagons at the time were not suburban lifestyle symbols. This Packard was aimed at that exact audience, people who had estates, not apartments, and problems like which chauffeur is available today. Under all that Polish coachman green elegance sits a surprisingly serious machine. The Packard Six Station Wagon is powered by a 4-liter inline-six engine, derived directly from the larger Packard inline-8 used in the Packard 120. Essentially, Packard took their smooth 8-cylinder design and politely removed 2 cylinders, like cutting a cake but keeping the recipe classy. It uses a flathead configuration known for durability and simplicity rather than speed. The engine sits up front in a traditional layout, sending power through a 3-speed manual transmission to the rear wheels. The chassis rides on a 292 centimeters, giving it a long, stable stance ideal for comfortable cruising over pre-war American roads, which were sometimes more suggestion than surface. Suspension is based on period Packard engineering, strong, simple, and designed to survive real-world abuse from gravel roads, estates, and occasionally questionable drivers who thought potholes were optional. Braking is mechanical hydraulic-era technology, typical of the late 1930s, adequate for the time, but let's just say stopping distances required both planning and faith. The body is where things become truly special. Built in wood by Baker-Raulang, each panel was handcrafted, meaning no two wagons were exactly identical. Restorers later had to recreate this structure piece by piece, which is basically automotive archaeology with splinters. Dimensions place it firmly in the large but elegant category. In imperial terms, it stretches roughly over in length around 5 meters, with a wide stance typical of Packard's luxury design language. Weight is substantial, as expected for a wooden-bodied pre-war station wagon. This is not a car that believes in minimalism. Timmy once said he could probably drift it. We did not let him near the ignition. The 1937 Packard Six Station Wagon by Baker-Raulang looks like someone took a luxury sedan, gave it a country estate identity crisis and said, "Yes, but make it tasteful." From the front, it is unmistakably Packard. The bold grille stands upright like it's judging modern traffic. Above it sits the famous Goddess of Speed hood ornament, as if promising elegance even when the engine is just politely doing its job in the background. The side profile is where the transformation happens. Instead of steel body panels, we get handcrafted wood, framing warm, structural, and slightly dramatic. It is the kind of design that makes modern SUVs look like they were assembled in a hurry during a lunch break. In 1937, the Packard Six Station Wagon sat in a very strange place in the automotive world. It was not a mass-market utility vehicle, and it was not a full limousine either. It was something in between, an early luxury wagon before that concept even had a name. Compared to other wood-bodied wagons of the era, the Baker-Raulang Packard stood out because it carried true luxury branding. Many Woodies were built on more utilitarian platforms, but this one wore a Packard badge, meaning refinement was not optional. Today, surviving examples are extremely rare, with only a handful known to exist, and even fewer retaining authentic Baker-Raulang bodywork. Restored examples regularly appear at concours events, where they tend to attract crowds that suddenly develop a strong interest in pre-war woodworking. If modern SUVs are about convenience, this Packard is about arrival. Not getting there fast, getting there properly, the 1937 Packard Six Station Wagon by Baker-Raulang is more than just an early wagon. It is a snapshot of a time when craftsmanship mattered as much as engineering, and when even practical vehicles were expected to dress well. It represents a brief, beautiful intersection between luxury automotive design and functional American utility, wrapped in wood, chrome, and quiet confidence. A machine built not to impress everyone, but to impress the right people slowly as it arrived at a grand estate driveway. And honestly, that's still the most Packard thing ever. We want to sincerely thank all channel sponsors and supporters who keep these stories alive. Without you, we would probably just be outside explaining carburetors to confused pigeons and calling it content. May your roads be smooth, your engines start on the first try, and may you never have to explain to Bob why your car is not alien technology disguised as wood.